Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's the First Exchange of Funk, and I'd like to welcome you to the My Hero Academia chapter 308, titled Full Power. Now, a quick reminder what happened in the last chapter. We saw Deku save Shindo at the last minute from Muscular's assault, because as we know, Shindo and Tatami, they were sent to try and rescue the civilians, but the civilians weren't having it, and they sent them packing, and Muscular turned up because, as we know, he escaped from Tartarus prison. And Yoshindo tried. We'll give him that. I'll give him that he tried, but I'm disappointed in the fact that you are a third-year student. You should have been able to handle him at least a little bit better. I mean, if it was Mirio or if it was Amajiki, how would they fare up against Muscular? I think they would have done better than Yoshindo did, because, yeah, that's just my opinion. You tell me. I mean, you comment below what you thought. But in this chapter, we see Deku on top of the rooftop after he saved Shindo, and he looks like a G. He looks like a G. I have to give him that. And the new equipment he has, because we see him with, he has rope around him. He has this smoke canister that helps him with his quirk, his new quirk that he unlocks, which is called Smoke Screen, I believe. And he has this like miniature jetpack like engine. Now, could that be to do with one of the second or third users' quirks? But I do believe it is to do with to be used in conjunction with Float and potentially Black Whip in order for Deku to get around more, so for mobility purposes. But his demeanor has changed, and I do like that, because he seems different, just in the way he's stood and stared down Muscular. Deku seems like he's changed. He's undergone some not only physical but mental changes as well. But Muscular, he goes straight after Deku, and he even, I remember you, and he goes after Deku. I mean, he jumps across to the underneath. He jumps to the same building that Deku is on, but he well, it looks like he misses the jump on purpose, but what he does, he latches onto the building, and then he rips the top half of the building off and sends it flying with Deku still on, but Deku manages to jump at the last second. Wow. He manages to dodge with Yoshindo in tow, and poor Yoshindo, because I can't help but feel a bit bad for him, because, I mean, you're a third-year student, you're on patrol with your girlfriend, your partner as well, because they are dating. Him and Tatami are dating, is confirmed. And then a villain pops up. He defeats you, but then you get rescued by a first year, and you have to be carried like a child, essentially. I mean, I just feel a bit wounded. I don't know about you guys, but it is Muscular, to be fair. But like I said, I did expect more from him being a third year. But after Deku jumps off the crumbling building, he seems to return to the Taguchi Tower, back to Tatami, and he leaves Shindo there in her care. And obviously she's worried about him. You know, it's a boyfriend, but also a classmate as well, her comrade that is in danger. But we do see Deku, and he does say, "Oh, but there'll be no more damage from now on." And we see him in the smoke, because the spread of the smoke screen has spread quite considerably throughout the surrounding area, and it has made it harder to see, because he does mention that too when he's talking to the sixth user. But what's interesting is Muscular, because whilst he's trying to attack Deku, he's screaming Midoriya, "Oh, I've missed you," but not in a creepy way, thank God. It's not his Hisoka Hunter x Hunter type vibe thing. None of that going on. But I think it's because Deku gave Muscular a good fight. Like, he really gave him a run for his money. Because Muscular mentions later on that he just wants to be able to go wild. He wants to go wild, and fighting Deku allows him to do that, go wild to his fullest extent. And that goes back into All for One said about quirks and how they can affect an individual. And we see this throughout with a lot of the villains, like Togata and her blood quirk, and how it forces her that she feels the desire to ingest people's blood. But back to the chapter, and the fact that Deku is now able to converse with the vestiges of All for One is huge. I mean, it's essentially like a Kurama. And now it's kind of like a Jinchuriki type situation for anyone who's seen Naruto, because now the vestiges can essentially give Deku advice constantly on the spot in combat. So having like 8 other people all giving you advice, not all at once, obviously, they all take turns to advise Deku, but it's crazy. It's crazy in terms of Deku's potential, in terms of his battle tactics and strategy planning now, because again he has 8 people to liaison with on the fly, in like up here, that no one else is aware of. But the 6th user does say, you he does Deku does mention that I've overused the quirk a bit, haven't I? And the 6th user says, yeah, you've spread the control a little too thin. But this is due to One for All's influence, because of the power being accumulated for so long. It has enhanced all the previous users' quirks, and it has been mentioned to Deku, but I guess in the heat of combat, Deku's forgotten that. But it's something he'll rein in for in the future. But it does give us a little insight on whatever powers that our previous users have. That they may not be ultimate moves like the 6th user mentions, but maybe with a combination of One for All's influence plus Deku mastering them, they could potentially become ultimate move type quirks. Like in my theory video, I mentioned, I did say Deku was going to unlock smoke or vapor manipulation, and maybe his quirk awakening will be like full-on manipulation, like in the way I suggested, like him being able to make smoke constructs and things of that nature. But maybe I'm wrong, who knows. I mean, you guys comment below and tell me what you think. But yeah, this chapter's so hyped because it's got me theorizing so many different things. But I'm honestly speechless, because we've got to see Deku use a new quirk in the series. It's just making me giddy for or the next ones that we're going to see in the future. I mean, you guys comment down below what quirks you want to see Deku unlock in the future. I mean, if I could pick one, it would probably be the telekinesis quirk, which again I mentioned in my favorite video. Which, and whilst Deku has sprung back into action to take on Muscular, I mean, Deku has jumped high above the buildings and is using the float, which I think looks cool. And there's a great shot of Deku in his full gear. Let's say his Warrock gear, or I like to call him Nomad Deku. And he does say his limited Muscular's his limited Muscular's vision with the smoke screen. So now at least he'll be able to have more of an idea of where Muscular is going to attack from, combining the 4th user's ability, Danger Sense, because Muscular does try to take him out, but Deku, again, because he has Danger Sense now, he senses it, dodges it in midair whilst using float, and then Danger Whips, and then uses Danger Whip to get out of harm's way. I mean, we are really seeing Deku's training are coming into fruition now. I mean, especially with his mastery, his use of Black Whip, how he's been able to using it for mobility purposes, but also he's using it more effectively. He's able to actually bind Muscular with it. Now, that shows how much progress he's actually made, because the fact he's able to restrain someone as strong as Muscular using this, I mean, Muscular, he's not able to break free. I mean, not straight away. So it's Deku's got some decent control over it now. Plus, it's been enhanced with One for All. But Deku does slam a Muscular into the floor, and then he follows through the punt. I believe he follows through the punt. No, he slams. Muscular is still restraining him, but he does try to talk to him and ask him like why he's doing what he's doing and where Shigaraki is. But Muscular tells him he doesn't know where they are. They freed him and just told him to go and do his own thing, and I honestly believe that because I don't see Muscular being a huge part in their plans and being very helpful at all. But when Deku does ask Muscular about why he does what he does, and Muscular says, "I just want to live without regrets." But this goes back to what I mentioned earlier, such as not indulging and having fun every chance I get. So him just going wild with his quirk and hurting whoever gets in his way, basically. Muscular's one sick puppy. He's a sicko. He deserves to be in prison. I'll say that much. A prison island for that guy. Yeah, but he does start to hulk out. He starts to add more of his muscle fibers on, and in order to go up against Deku for one last time. And he's basically shouting to Deku, you're trying to sympathize with me, go push your shit somewhere else. Deku has this little inner monologue where that someone like Muscular is inevitable. There's no talking him out of it. So he's got nothing else to do but to fight. But I guess this goes back to how he felt about having to kill Tomura based on, I guess, he's maybe seeing Muscular and him in the same light. I think. But then again, we still have a while. I still think the theory that he may kill Tomura is not going to happen. He'll probably try to save him or somehow take his quirks. But they get geared up for their final clash, and Deku's thinking, the strands of depleted energy tend to rip and tear away. The guy who shies away from tactics and strategy, and basically he's just figuring out Muscular's quirk and its benefit, its weaknesses, and he's basically said that Muscular's armor is uneven in spots. So that is why he couldn't jump as far as he could earlier. It wasn't so he could just rip the building up, but it was because he focuses so much on his upper body, then his lower body doesn't have this. He doesn't have a proportionate amount of strength, which is kind of weird because typically the legs are stronger than the arms. But that just goes to show more about Muscular and how he thinks, because he didn't think to evenly proportion out his muscle, which I think he definitely could. But as Deku is racing toward him, we see him not go through him, but he takes out Muscular. He just one goes through, and he hits Muscular in what seems like his weak spot, or a spot where the armor plating isn't as thick. And we don't see if it takes out Muscular, if he's one-shotted him. Maybe I don't think Muscular's going to be taken out that easily, just because I think we're gonna see more of what Deku has on display. So I definitely don't think Muscular is out for the count yet. But yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Full power, 308. I mean, I love being able to see Deku's new quirk being shown and put on display. And I mean, do you guys think we're going to see more of Deku's new quirks in the next chapter? You guys tell me below. But that's it for the video. I like and subscribe, guys, and keep it tuned for more for more manga videos. Remember, I do Kaiju number 8 and My Hero Academia, but I am looking to start doing Jujutsu Kaisen on the channel as well. So like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. The first exchange of funk. Keep it fresh and keep it funky. Bye.